How we doing, everybody?
Hola,
Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly with It. I'm Will.
I'm Adri.
And what are we doing today?
Today I am going to guess how much money or what games did Will spend money on. In April.
In April, for crowdfunding. So specifically, this is for Kickstarter and Gamefound games. We've done this a couple times. We really want to get in a rhythm, but we keep having to do this like just kind of short notice. We haven't got a plan. If you guys have a way that you think it'd be fun to watch us or watch Adri guess whether or not I back something or not, of course, let us know down in the comments. So we're just going to kind of run through the campaigns. We're just going to show the components, basic mechanics, what the pledge levels are, and then Adri is going to try to guess whether or not we backed it. Now, of course, we are going to start the video with our normal, which is games that we previewed on the channel, campaigns that did cancel, and campaigns where I've reached out to the publisher to see about getting a preview copy. And for the most part, we should be, but there are a couple that have still got some question marks on them. With that said, let me go ahead and we will switch the camera to the website view. All right, there we go. So we are on the first game here, which is Anunnaki. Now, Anunnaki was a 4X style game. I'm trying to find us a 4X style game, so that's why I was interested in this one. It's a 4X hybrid Euro game with minis where you are ancient alien civilizations trying to come down and, well, it's exterminate? No. Expand? I forget what the 4Xs are.
I don't know what the 4Xs are.
I forget what the 4Xs are. I'm drawing a blank right now. But basically, you're trying to, go to different civilizations and back. The base pledge level was $90. The mythic pledge level was $175. I felt that was a little bit high because in the gameplay videos, looking at the minis, they look like they were like little tiny minis, like 1 inch tall. It's a Euro, and for what they were trying to accomplish, I think meeples would work just as well. So I was actually on the fence of backing this because, again, I didn't see for the $174 a game that we might like. Didn't get to watch my gameplay on it, but they did cancel. They're going to come back. I think that's one of the things they're going to investigate is the minis versus the content, because it seemed like people were confused that with this mythic box you're getting tons of stuff. These minis were tiny minis.
Okay.
They weren't like big minis like they look like on the pictures. But it's like pharaohs and Greek and so you've heard the stories where it says like the pyramids were built by aliens, right? This is kind of playing off of that, right? But then the mythic pledge was supposed to come with some additional. So it came with the Asian house and it came with the Meso house. So it'd have your Central and South American house. And it came with mythic creatures, and it came with distant planets, and it came with I could tell all this came with the mythic pledge, but people seem to be confused by that. Like, what's the difference between the basic and the standard? Well, all these 12 items here that you were getting was part of it. So they'll probably relaunch later. We'll check it out again. Hopefully there'll be some more gameplay videos. But yeah, that was Anunnaki, and it did not fun. But like I said, want to find a good 4X. This is different. It's not Space 4X, which was definitely different. The next one was Space Lion. So Space Lion, they did cancel their campaign. They were over on Gamefound. They were at, what were they at? They were at 18% of their funding goal. It was kind of slow. This one we want to bring up as well. We did reach out to the publisher. We did a post on our website for the game when they had a press release. We do have a preview copy, so we will be doing content of this when it relaunches. Don't know when it'll relaunch. They didn't really say why they canceled. But basically, this is just a kind of a versus style game where you're trying to build up your cards. So it's kind of card play, asymmetrical teams. You deploy your units to face each other, and then you're going to be destroying the bases and towers. So it looked kind of neat. They reached out to us for the preview. I don't know if it's our style of game or not. But we, of course, will do some coverage once they relaunch. So if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And then go out to their website, and you can, of course, follow them. But that was Space Line. The art was really neat. I really liked the art. It actually looked kind of cool. So this is the first game that we did some preview content for, which was Maul Peak. Right? So we did do gameplay footage of Maul Peak. We got Skull Hollow and Maul Peak. We did have to send the prototype off, so I do need to reach out to them about getting a final copy of the game. But if you're interested, this is basically a 1 versus 1 game where one person is playing a faction and then the other one is playing these Guardians, and you're doing card action play to be able to defeat the other player. You really liked it, right?
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Art was cute.
Yes.
Yeah. So we really like this. If you want to check it out, it is there. And then I believe they are doing some late pledges as well. So you can go there. And that's Pencil First Games. The next one we did preview content for, and they did just actually fund. So they actually did successfully fund, was Clash at Rook's Point. So Clash at Rook's Point is a card combat game where you've got 3 characters that have abilities. You're trying to play cards to damage, to wound, or to basically take out the other player. It was okay. We didn't mind it. We felt like there was some issues, right? Because it seemed like there was a point where it was like we were just going back and forth, and it just never would end. So don't know if they're going to fix that. We also didn't feel any thematic tie to any of the characters. However, in the updates, he was doing stories for the game. I still feel like that's out of context. Whenever you got the stories in the Kickstarter, you put the stories on your website, you're not going to read those stories, right, when you buy the game. So, but it did fun. So this will be brought to life. I don't know if they're going to be doing any late pledges for this. Right now they don't. So just go to Small Games and follow them, and you should get notified if they are going to do any late pledges for this. The next one that we did preview content for was Holotype. So Holotype also did fund, so that very happy that they did fund. We were one of the few people that I guess had reached out, because we go to all campaigns and comment on them, and they saw us and they were like, hey, so we created it. This is a lightweight worker placement game where you are trying to basically find specimens, dinosaur specimens. This is the North America, so of course this did well, so hopefully they'll be able to make some additional games in the future for like Europe and Africa and all that. That'd be really fun, that you'll be able to maybe combine those. Or I wouldn't say you'd want to make them as a full standalone game. I would say maybe an extra player board, or you use the same player board and it's just different specimen cards that you could, like, okay, I'm going to take the North America pack of cards, I'm going to take but we liked it. It was fun, right?
I loved it.
You loved it. Adri likes worker placement.
Yes.
And we get to learn about dinosaurs a little bit. There was some very, very, very good. They did a lot of research into making sure that they were doing it right. So of course we are going to get a final copy of this. So of course we will be playing this on the channel once this delivers. So this is Holotype, and it is Brexworks Games. It's actually their very first game. There's an interview with Board Game Binge, which is the guy that owns 10 Robot Games, and he did an interview with them, and they basically were just gamers. They're 2 guys. One guy moved out to Arizona, met the other guy. They started gaming. The one guy has always liked paleontology, although he's a computer programmer. That's kind of interesting to watch. So there is a video, if you go check that out, where they do an interview with the creator. So really happy we got to help a small publisher, first-time publisher, get their game out there. The next preview we did was Castles by the Sea. You liked this one?
I liked it too.
You liked it? Yep. So the Castles by the Sea is basically an asymmetric strategy game, as you can see, where you're trying to place your blocks, and there's certain requirements when you place your blocks to basically score points by adding like the little people that you see on top here, or by adding certain specific structures or pieces to the board. This is kind of weird because this says that it had to be an empty space on both sides. I thought it was permanent. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's got the arch. Maybe the arch doesn't count because it's a piece. Remember, we were struggling with that too, because we were like, oh,
but
we
in
can't
the picture on the card, I remember it showed like nothing. But well, maybe it could have been an example only. Yeah,
it could have been. But yeah, we did like it. There were a couple things that we felt maybe would be changeable. I know somebody mentioned in one of our videos is that it doesn't seem like there's a way to combat certain aspects of the game, like when the hazards occur, things like that. I did see, remember we were talking about in our gameplay, like it'd be cool if the water, because at the very end we looked at the other player cards that we weren't playing, and there was one where the castle was getting run over by the sea. Yeah, that's actually an expansion. I didn't know. So there's an expansion where the water is going to actually be one of the hazards, and it comes up.
Oh.
It can take out your castle pieces. So I think that'd be kind of fun to play as well. But that is Castles by the Sea by Brother Wise Games. They currently aren't late backing, but I imagine they will. I don't know if there was that much difference between the Kickstarter and the retail edition. You can come check out this page and of course, find out for yourself. The next one is one that we will be doing preview content, hopefully before it ends. It's got 11 days left. This is Dungeons and Dinos, the card game. So Dungeons and Dinos is not a follow-up. It is in the same world of Snack Attack. And Adri likes Snack Attack. You took it down to Colombia, right?
Yes, and my parents loved it, and my sister as well.
It's a very light game where you're trying to basically build up your snack while at the same time trying to protect your snack with like spices and sugars and sweets and things like that. Well, these little guys are called nomnosaurs. So this is the follow-up game. Those same nomnosaurs that were trying to get the snacks are now going on little adventures, and it's really cute. It's that same art by Game Direction. Alexander, I think is his name. He's doing the art as well. And you're basically assembling your team. So you're going to say, okay, me and my friends are going to go out on a little adventure. And you can see it's like kids, right? They got all of their weapons are like as a mop and a bucket. And he's using a tin can. You're going to party up. It's card based, right? So loot deck is cards. Exploring the dungeon is basically cards. And then you're just using your heroes that you've got to attack and try to do damage and things like that. But again, very lightweight. And I think the art makes it cute and makes it very approachable for somebody who might want to do D&D but doesn't want to get into like D&D. So we should have some gameplay of this hopefully before the campaign ends. We did get the prototype in a couple days ago. Problem is we've already got I already had May kind of scheduled, and when things pop up, kind of have to move things around. But that is Dungeons and Dinos. It's got 11 days back as of our recording. They did fun though, so they did fun. So they've already funded, so you're guaranteed to get a game. Right. The next one is Dino Dodge, Survival of the Fittest. So this is the other one we did preview content for. It is funding. It has 11 days to go. It's almost doubled its funding. And that's good because this was a relaunch. See, they relaunched this because it actually didn't succeed the first time. You're basically playing as a dinosaur. You're going around the locations, little islands, right? And you're trying to avoid these meteors from smashing down on you. We liked the base game. Base game was fine. But I think we really liked it the most when both expansions were in.
Yeah.
With the raptor and the pterodactyl, right? So it's a really fun game, cute art, different powers. So if you're interested in that, again, we have the gameplay footage up on the video. We have the gameplay footage up on the YouTubes. I don't know why I said up on the video. That's what the gameplay would be on. And if you want to back it, Blue Gear Games, like I said, 11 days left on this one. Okay. So the next one is Cytress. So this one we are going to do gameplay footage for. I think we're doing it next Sunday, maybe. I think we're doing it next Sunday. I can't remember. But Cytress is a worker placement game set in like a cyberpunk, world. It's designed by a cyberpunk writer. Basically, this is his world. And you're basically going to be sending out your characters to make influences, customize your character, unlock skills, control the underbelly. I like this. You kind of build up the city as you go. And then it's got this big Stratos thing in the middle, like a big eye-catching thing in the middle that you're going to be trying to make actions off of, right, with your worker placement off of that. So it looks like a fun game. The art was really cool. I saw this months and months ago when they had it up on social media, and I reached out to them back then about getting a copy to preview. A preview copy finally came available, so they sent it to us. So hopefully we'll be able to get this done before the campaign ends. It looks pretty. I like the purples and the pinks.
Yes.
Yeah. They got 16 days left to go. So, like I said, we got 2 weeks to get this video out. So, again, because we have the Dinos and Dinosaurs are shorter, we might get that one in first and get this one in after. But that is Cytress, an immersive cyberpunk game. So these are preview games. We'll just go over them pretty quickly because, again, don't know if we're going to get them or not. So the first one is Silicon Valley. So reached out to the publisher. Haven't actually heard anything back, so I'll probably reach out again when it gets closer to distribution. And basically, it is a polyomino game with economics. So we like polyominoes, so that's why I thought we might like this one. But I don't know if we're as big on economics, like an economy type game. So this is interesting. I'll reach out to the publisher again when it gets closer. It's not too much of a price. I mean, it's not actually not too bad. I think it was $68 for the Entrepreneur, which came with the game. Plastic code blocks. I don't know. Bella's shaking. So we have an earthquake. So we're probably going like this in the front facing cam, and then metal bitcoins. So even if I don't hear back from them, then shouldn't be a problem. I might leap back this, but I don't know. The next preview copy that we're going to be getting is Escape from Stalingrad Z. Now, this is definitely not Adri's definitely not Adri's thing. It can be played solo, and a lot of people said it actually appeared to play better solo. So maybe I'll play it solo. But the reason I like this one is one type of game we like are storybook games, right? Games that are in a book. You unfold it, makes it easier. But this is basically a Russian military game where you're trying to go through and defeat the zombies. It's pretty much it. You're going to roll dice, and you're going to try to defeat the zombies. Bloody. They put blood splatters everywhere. As long as I don't paint the minis, it's not that bad, right? If I don't paint the minis, zombified.
Well, you paint them the way you want to paint them.
But yeah, so it does. And the reason this has actually caught my eye too is even if you don't like minis, and this is a first time creation as well. The pledge levels, there was, the book set. So the book set. Oh no, I'm sorry. There was a print and play set first. There's a print. I thought there was a print and play. Oh no, there's the book set. So the book set first, which was $30. That you get the book. You get just regular markers and things like that, but you don't get any dice or anything like that. So it's very inexpensive entry point. And then the $50 one, you got some standees, and then you get the dice. And then you get $150 one, you can get everything, but they're in separate boxes, but you get the minis. Basically, you're adding the minis. And then they had the deluxe box, which gave you the minis, but everything fits inside of this one slipcover. So it's kind of cool how that all fits in there. Yeah. But I like that they had multiple pledge levels. I think there was a print and play, but I don't think it's listed over there. Yeah, so $16 was the print and play. So he must have taken it off of the left side. But I remember there was a print and play. So for 16 or 12 US dollars, you could actually get a print and play. I like that. I think that's really cool to have a print and play version on a game like this. That way it opens more opportunities, especially people that are in other countries where it would be cost prohibitive. Like Colombia, you can't get these games in Colombia. They won't even ship them down there a lot of times. But that is Escape from Stalingrad Z. So we should be getting a preview copy of that. Don't Let Them Die. So this is by the same creator as Something Woodgrove. They've done a lot of them. Sam Milham. The art's the same. We backed one of the games. We haven't played it yet. Here it is. Silverwood Grove. I love the art, but this got really badly bad first impressions by people. The rulebook was messy, stuff like that. So we haven't gotten a chance to play it yet to confirm that. But I like his art. I follow him. This is a remake of Don't Let It Die, where he's just adding his art to it. So he's taking the original game and just adding his art. So it's kind of like a reprint with newer art. I commented in the comment section, and they actually reached out to me, or haven't reached out to me yet. I'll reach out to them about getting a copy for a preview. He said, we'll reach out to you about a copy, is what he said in the comments. So hopefully you get that. But basically, you've got different characters. You're trying to plan out what you want to do. You have to get your goods, cook, craft, burn, trade. You're basically just trying to survive. So it's kind of like a survival game using cards.
It looks cute. It makes me think of the movie. What's the movie?
Meet the Croods.
The Crude.
Yeah. So you have your fire dice. So basically trying not to let the fire die out. and trying to survive. So it does look kind of nice. The art really does draw you in. So hopefully we'll be able to get a copy of this to preview for you guys once I reach back out to Sam. Next one is Birds of a Feather. So same thing. I reached out to them about a preview copy. They said reach out back to them later. This was doing kind of slow at first, but they did actually fund. So it did successfully fund. But Birds of a Feather, I think this is another reprint just with new art. Birds of a Feather, and this is the North America edition. Basically, you are trying to go bird spotting. So you're trying to make, I think, set collection to make additional birds. So you get 60 birds, score. And it wasn't that expensive. It was only like $20. I would have backed it, no problem. But since they said reach out to them, I said, okay, sure, I'll reach out to you then. But yeah, you're trying to, everyone plays a card, reveals a bird and their habitat. What else? Any revealed raptors chase away birds in their habitat. Everyone scores the birds in their visited habitat. So any bird that I guess was in your habitat, you score, and then other birds fly away, and then you move on. So basically, it's kind of like you're trying to get people to visit your habitat to get points. It's different. A lot of people say they like it, so we'll check it out.
Looks nice.
I like the art, right? Like the birds, pretty. Autobahn. So Autobahn is still going. There's 3 days left. I've reached out to Alley Cat Games. I still haven't gotten a reply from them. I guess they're really busy with the campaign. This is one that I can hope that we'll get to preview since we've already previewed a game for Alley Cat before. So 3 days left, so you still have time to back it. Basically, what you're trying to do is build the Autobahn. So the Autobahn, you know what the Autobahn is? Autobahn is the major highway in Germany. So you're basically trying to build the Autobahn by placing pieces. So it's worker placement. You've got, tile placement to try to build out the roads and the routes. We've not done any route building games, so I don't know if this is really up our alley. We do have Ticket to Ride, which is a train route building game. So it looks interesting to me. And honestly, for me, what's pulling me in is it's Autobahn, and I was born in Germany. So I'm not German. I was born in Germany. I would be German if I had German parents. I don't have German parents. But either way, that's what drew me in. Not sure if it's our thing, but of course, I'll reach out to Alley Cat again once everything's settled down to see if we can get a preview copy of Autobahn. Next is Explorers of the Woodlands. So this one has 43 hours to go, so this may be done by the time you guys... I really like this one. I've reached out to them for a preview copy. They don't know if they're going to have any preview copies, so I may have to late pledge for this one. I like this one. It's a dungeon crawler, but it's cute. They're like these little woodland creatures, woodland meeples, right? And it's just a little dungeon crawler. It reminds me a lot of a couple of the art here reminds me a lot of, I've had some Xbox games that are like that. That's kind of that top down and you're moving around, little RPG games. But I really like the art. I think it looks really nice. Normal combat, roll dice, go through a dungeon, and that sort of thing. So that is Explorers of the Woodlands. And the other reason I was backing this at first, and then I backed out, and I kind of went back and forth. Money, is the biggest thing, because there's so many campaigns that I want to back. There's only so much money of what we can back. Cute?
Yes.
You'd play that dungeon crawler?
I would.
not a dungeon crawler with zombies and
No.
All right, and here is the last game that I was interested in that we should be getting a preview copy hopefully for. This is what's called Fliptown. What's called Fliptown? No, it's actually called Fliptown. It's not what it's called. Fliptown is a flip and write game. We play Welcome to, right, as a flip and write. We do have Welcome to Vegas and Welcome to the Moon, which we need to play. So rather than rolling dice, you flip a card. Okay. This one just takes place in the Old West. So this one I really like the look of. So they kind of went with an Old West theme. Oh. It looks very complex though. This really gives me what is it? Hadrian's Wall, I think is what it's called, from Renegade Games feels. There's like lots of boxes. So that is the only thing that might kind of scare us off. But I like that they use like poker cards with like cool art for the Fliptown, or for the Flip and Write Fliptown. So gameplay, like I said, normal thing. You're going to flip the card. It's going to indicate what you can do. And then here it says your value dictates what you're going to be able to do on your board. I don't know what the win condition is. So there's a new character. Okay, so it looks like asymmetric powers. Cowboys are going to show up. Gamblers are going to show up. So yeah, I did reach out to the publisher about getting a preview copy. He's not sure who's doing the US copies. So hopefully by the end of the campaign, or did the campaign already end? It's got 11 days to go. Hopefully by the end of the campaign, or by the time the pledge manager opens up, he'll know who his distributor is. If he doesn't by that point, then I'll probably just back it. I don't think it was that much. Yeah, you can get a print and play for $5. You know, technically, if you wanted to play, we could do a print and play. My thing is with print and plays, I feel like I would back a lot of print and plays, but then we wouldn't print them out and play them. You know what I mean? I feel like that ends up what happened. But it was $25 for a physical copy, so it's not that bad. It's very inexpensive for a flip and write game. But that is Fliptown. Okay, so this is the first game where Adri is going to try to guess whether or not I backed it or not. So this one is called The World's Traveler Society, an immersive mystery adventure. Solve a mystery that took place in 1930s China, but resurfaced recently in Shanghai. So basically it is an escape room. It's a mystery solving game. Is your core mechanics. You're going to have components, of course, that you unlock and try to figure out. The pledge levels, and then what we said we're going to do? We're going to show you the stuff, how to play. You're just going to go on the adventure. It does have some digital components. So the rewards. So the scout reward, basically you get everything in a little tote bag. It's only $25, not bad. These are handcrafted, if I remember correctly. And you get this little dragon whistle. The $69 pledge, which goes up quite a bit if you consider, right? It goes up to $69.
Yeah.
This has a handmade wooden vintage box, which I think the creators got a video on TikTok or Instagram making it. But then you get a lot more actual vintage components. So news articles, letters, stuff like that. So these are more thematic add-ons, because I asked him about them, like, what are these? He's like, it's more for thematics. This one, you would just get like a printed copy of the clue. See, all clues. I think he updated this after I asked the question. So all clues in printed form. So it'd be like basically you printed it out on your own printer, kind of. These are going to be more thematic. And then the Explorer pledge is basically the same thing, except for they're going to give you a big map so you can track where you're going and stuff like that. There's some additional little boxes that you're getting. Lots of like components to kind of accentuate the experience, right? Make it feel bigger. Then you have the $159 pledge, so you went even a step further. Wax seals on some of the documents, so you got to peel the seal to kind of open it, so again, more thematics, a dragon pendant, whistle, stuff like that. So that's what this game is. So it's a mystery solving game. A couple different pledges were available for it. What do you think?
I don't have to guess the pledge level, right?
No, just whether I backed it or not.
No.
No, I did not back it. I know Adri likes mystery style games. I probably wouldn't mind this. I mean, we're going to play, we've got the Chronicles of Crime, which is an app base, so it's not the app that we still need to play through to see if we like detective style games. Adri does like escape room games, which these kind of are similar. You're trying to solve clues. The reason I didn't, honestly, is because of the price for what you're getting. I don't want the $25 pledge if this isn't going to feel like the real clues, right? That kind of doesn't feel enough. Nice pouch, nice little, whistle there. I would want this, but I don't care about any of this. I don't care about the tea. I don't care about the box. I don't care about these handmade extras. It's like I would kind of want this, but with these, with the deluxe component. Like I kind of wanted an in-between pledge. So that's the only reason I didn't back it. I think it said, there's 3 more days left to go. Yeah, so 3 more days left to go. There is an adventure you can follow along in their updates where you can actually play the Prelude free because he's been putting it into his updates. And he does have plans to incorporate this into other games. So there is that breadcrumbs thing where like if you didn't play this, you may not get some of the clues in his follow-up games. So it's kind of like, because now you got that FOMO going on that you might miss something. But 3 days left to go, depending when I upload this, hopefully tomorrow. which would be Monday for you guys, which, well, you guys know because you're watching it. The next one is Maglev Metro. This is specifically for the expansions. However, they were offering the base game. So in Maglev Metro, let me see if I can get a picture to kind of go a quick. There you go. So in Maglev Metro, you're basically trying to get people and robots and different things through the metro system by placing these transparent acrylic tiles to make your train tracks. So the original game had, I think, New York and Europe, I think. And this one's just adding a bunch more. So you're adding mechs. So you got basically like a mech, place that you can build on. You got monorails, which is you're building like a theme park monorail system. And then you have Mars. So you're building, on Mars. And moon bases. So it's like space type stuff. Each one's also adding some additional components like moon bases, some additional player actions, things like that. London is, so basically these little squares, that's where you place your tiles to build out along the path. So, all right. And so the pledge levels, let me see if we get the pledge levels. Oh, they didn't even put the pledge levels here. That's right. They know their game is so good, they didn't even put the pledge levels in. Paris was the other one. So you can get the Mechs and Monorails expansion for 30, get the Moonbase and Mars expansion for 30, you get the London and Paris expansion for 30, you can get the maps, all the maps for 80, so you get a $10 discount. And if you wanted to get the base game and the maps, it's 120. Now the base game right now is running about $60 if you try to buy it from somewhere. So that is Maglev Metro.
See?
Yes, so I did back this one. I backed this at the full 120. I did reach out. This was the publisher that I reached out to about getting a preview copy, and they actually told me a number. They told me how many subscribers they do before they start offering preview copies, which is nice. I wish other publishers, rather than just saying no, would say, no, currently you don't have enough subscribers. Yeah. We'd like to work with somebody who has about this amount, keep working towards that goal, blah, blah, blah. Or we're looking for somebody who does more of this type of content. So then we would know, hey, okay, well, we definitely want to play your game. Let's focus on that when we buy your game. So then when we bought your game and made a video about it, or same thing, I know some publishers won't work with you until you've done one of their games on your own. You've gone out and actually bought, and I fully get that too. But it's like, tell me that so I know to go buy your game so I can make some content around it. But either way, that is Maglev Metro. So we did back that. We'll be getting the 120, everything in the kitchen sink pledge. So we'll have everything to play, which means that's a minimum of one map, 2 maps in the base game. Paris. Well, the reason they're saying 2 maps is everything's double-sided. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have at least 8 gameplays. We'll find out whether we like it after 8 gameplays. All right. The next one is the Empty Throne. So this one did succeed. This is a 2-player card game from Small Box Games. And it's a head-to-head battler. I mean, it's no more complex than that. Each person's going to have their field of people that they're battling against, and they're going to battle against the opposite side. And then I forget what the numbers do. I think the numbers have something to do with the turn order or the priority order. There's not much on this campaign. That's pretty much it. Because they're going off of their rep. People know who they are. It did succeed. You can get a print and play for 3, or you can get a physical copy for 15 plus shipping, right?
No.
I actually did back this one. I like the art. The art was actually what drew me in, and it was a small game, and it was $15. If there's a game, normally if there's a game, I can get a game for under 20, and I want to think, I can't remember if they were included, if shipping was free. $10, yeah, it was only 10 days. Oh no, shipping was another 4. So total, it was under $20. If there's a small box, small publisher game that's under $20 with shipping, I'm usually gonna back it. Not to give you clues for future things, but it did look fun. We do a lot of these little head-to-head card games, so I figured we'll just keep up with it and see if we like this compared to the other head-to-head card games. But that is, so that's the Empty Throne. Currently, it doesn't say they're taking late pledges, but I imagine when they open the backer, they may do late pledges. So The Last Light, so this one was over on Gamefound. This is by Roy Kennedy. You know Roy. Dice Tower. Spiky hair.
Roy.
Yeah, Roy. Okay. Roy.
Yeah.
Roy Kennedy. He likes a lot of the games that we like but he does like some stuff that we don't. No, I guess he likes more games that I like just because he likes Marvel. Like Marvel Champions and stuff. But he likes a lot of space games. People think that he's the Marvel guy, but he actually likes space games just as much. So he actually created the game. He's in with Grey Fox Game. It is a true 4X experience that can be played in an hour. So the main thing with 4X, and one of the things we talked about earlier with the 4X game, is how it plays and the amount of micromanagement and how long it is usually what turns me off on 4X. And I know you definitely would not want to play a 3 or 4 hour game. There might be some we would. If it's fun. Yeah, yes. If it's fun. But because this has got so much like upkeep and work and like micromanagement, maybe not. So he created this to play within an hour. All right. So in this, you're basically, it is space-based because you like space. And you're trying to go out and explore these different planets to gather resources. You can attack the other players. And basically you're just trying to, there it is, exterminate, expand, exploit, explore. We needed that earlier. But yeah, so, and it's got this little spinny thing in the middle to basically, it changes up like what planet you can go to. The way that he was able to make it quicker is it's simultaneous action. Everybody plays their card at the same time and then takes their action. But yeah, so little ship miniatures, all kinds of stuff that they unlocked. Lots of factions, lots and lots of stuff. He likes Twilight Imperium, which has lots and lots of stuff like this. So I can see that coming in here. So the base game was what's in the box. So the regular deluxe edition is 110, and it comes with all the regular base game stuff. And then the Infinity expansion adds another 60, and that allows you up to 8 players. And adds all that stuff, more planets, more dice, more stuff. Lots of exclusives. How to play, so you choose your faction, you research what you need to be able to do things, you mine your resources, construct your ships, and then go out and basically take over the world or take over the universe. So that is that. That is Last Light by Roy Kennedy.
See.
No. I watched. I could not. I don't know. Again, it must be. I just don't like this type of game. I need to have you watch some 4X games to see if it's your style, because maybe it is. Because you like lots of stuff to do, but it does cause you analysis paralysis. See,
I don't know how to define my likes. So.
I think somebody else mentioned it the other day, and it's called point salad. There's actually a game called Point Salad. We should probably buy it. But point salad games, there's lots of ways to score. There's lots of ways to do things in the game. It's not like I need to do this, to do this, to do this, to get this to happen. It's like, I can just do whatever I want and I'm going to get points. Point salad. You probably would like point salad games, yeah. I watched the Dice Tower playthrough. Now, it wasn't the cleanest playthrough because they're having a lot of fun and goofing around and stuff like that. But I couldn't grasp what the game did. And then I watched Alex's playthrough with Roy on a 2-player game, and I kind of understood a little bit better, but still didn't understand what the game was doing.
Okay.
And I think every time I've watched any 4X video, that's what it is. It just seems dry, and I can't figure out what's going on enough to understand how I would like it, I guess. Because there's been a couple 4Xs. I think we've done another video with another 4X before. I said that same thing. I watched the video and it seemed dry. It was the other space one where they were building the little domes from last month.
Yeah. And
I didn't back down because same thing. I watched a playthrough video and I'm like, well, this is kind of boring, right? So no, I did not back it. I don't think I'm going to late pledge for it either. But everybody who's played this says it's great. Most of those people, of course, have played 4X games and like 4X games. So if you like a 4X game, you want a shorter time frame that plays up to 8. And that's the other thing he said is normally as you add players to a 4X game, it gets longer and longer. At 8, it still plays in under an hour. So if you play solo or you play with 8, Still
no.
playing in about an hour. Yep. So that is Last Light by Roy Kennedy.
That was difficult.
That was difficult. Well, here's the thing. Maybe when we move down to Florida, we'll call up Roy and he'll teach us how to play. And then we won't have to worry about being lost by watching a video. All right. So the next one here is Fujiyama with Ajisai. These are 2 small box board games made in Japan. I did successfully pledge for lots of yen. I don't know the conversion of that. 6 million yen. So the first game is Fujiyama with Ajisai.
Or Ahisai.
Yeah. So these are puzzle games, right? So they're small box, little puzzle games. A lot of your Japanese games are because space over there. This one, you're trying to build a mountain by placing the tiles appropriately. You also have these little cute little animeeples. Is that a bunny? I think it's a bunny.
It looks like a bunny.
And then in Ajisai, you're basically building a flower garden. Same thing. It's a puzzle game where you're trying to match symbols and things like that to score points. So Fujiyama includes all this wonderful stuff. And then they go over to how it plays. And then, oh, there you go. Nice little animated GIFs are always great, right? Yeah, so you get your little animals that you put onto it. So this reminds me a lot of Habitats from board game tables from last week, right? A little bit, kind of like Habitats. And then Ajisai, 2 to 3 player game. Got your little flower tokens, right? So you're trying to build out a pattern, I think based on what you're trying to accomplish. Let's see if they have an animated. You gonna animate? No animations on that one. So that's that one. And then the set is, so the set of both games is basically 48 US dollars. Only Fujiyama was 32 plus shipping. Only Ajisai was 24 plus shipping. They also offered some of their older games as well that you could add on to it.
That's hard because I know I would like it, but I don't think you are too much into this. I'd say no.
I did back it.
Oh, yeah.
I did back it. And I got both games. I backed it because it was light, simple, language independent.
Oh well.
Yeah. You didn't notice that language independent. I don't know. This one looks like it might have words on the cards. But I did. I bought it because I knew you would probably like it. And I had fun playing these games. It's just not the first game I'm going to pull out if I want to play a game. But it looks like a nice light game that,
Such a nice boy.
Such a nice boy. But yeah, that is Fujiyama and Ajisai. Their previous games have gotten pretty good reviews on Board Game Geek. So if you're definitely interested, go check that out. I imagine, yeah, they got follow along. So if you click the follow along, that way you'll know when the pledge manager and late pledges are available.
I'm losing. I have guessed 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Oh, we forgot to get you a die so you can track that.
Yeah, but I'm...
Right?
Oh, I can't track this.
Oh, she grabbed the extra like D20.
So...
You got 2 correct. 1.
Where is it to?
It's not, yeah, see this isn't, that's not remember I was telling you about the die, the roll-up die? I was like, why is it called a countdown die? It's because you can flip the die and it goes in sequential numerical order. This is random. I don't think it's random. I think there is a specific spot everything's supposed to be. The next one is the Dark Quarter by Lucky Duck Games. They are teaming up with Van Ryder Games. This is a cooperative narrative game set in the Dark Quarter, which is in New Orleans in the 1980s. So the Dark Quarter is basically a mystery. You're a member of the Beaumont Agency. You're trying to go through a detective feature-length story to solve a crime of some underworld things going on. This is an app-based game, very similar to their Chronicles of Crime. That's why Lucky Duck is doing it. The story building, I think they're doing with Van Ryder. Both of them are very good in their respective areas. Does have miniaturas that you get to go into. So they are mythical type things. So there's like vampires, werewolves, magical people, psychics, voodoo. So just all that kind of stuff kind of tied together. I made the connection to the Sookie Stackhouse novels, True Blood, that Jaden got. I kind of made that same connection because that has a lot of that stuff too. They've got werewolves and vampires and fairies and magic and stuff like that. So it reminded me of that. This has nothing to do with that, and the story has nothing to do with that. But it did remind me of that. But you do play it with an app, so as you're going through, it's going to be doing the story through the app. So you're going to click what you want to do. I want to ask this guy a question. All right, now I'm going to roll a dice. Okay, I got 3 successes. 1, 2, 3, enter. The guy tells you to go F off, right? Because they actually swear in this, and this is adult themed. We have destinies in there. You've seen destinies. We got the boxes for destinies. This is the same system. So we need to play destinies. We haven't played it, so I don't even know about the system and how it works. But the dice system, I think, is supposed to be the same as destinies. But yeah, so the pledge levels. So here's all the characters. We're trying to... This is one of those Kickstarter pages where like they've got lots of stuff, so it keeps going and going and going until you get to the pledge levels. Gamefound, I can just click on rewards. It goes down to it. All the unlocks, the Beaumont Agency, all the bad guys, all the expansions, and we're going to keep going. There we go. All right. So pledge levels, the rookie, which gives you the game plus the free expansion. So basically the base game is $60 or 63. It's 59 euros. The detective, which includes the game plus the expansion plus the free expansion, because the Kickstarter is $100. The whole damn agency, which includes the game, the expansion, the free expansion, plus the miniatures, plus the metal coins, plus the plastic token pack, is $147-ish, so about $150. And then these are just the add-ons. I'll take a drink.
It's not difícil. I think you didn't.
I did back it.
Yeah,
so I backed this at the 147. Quackalope did a lot of gameplay footage on this, and it just seems really fun and interesting. Lucky Duck has a great rep with their app-based games of drawing you in with the immersion. Some of the language, I feel like they're going a little bit way too far with the swearing. Like, I remember I told you about that. There's that one part where the guy's basically every third word is him swearing at the agents when they come in to investigate him. And I'm like, there's 1 or 2 things that could be probably taken out of that. Sometimes I think adding vulgarity for vulgarity's sake is not needed. But beyond that, the game looks fun. The mechanics look fun. The story just seems great because you get to go on this nice investigating story. And while you're investigating, you're learning about your character's backstory as well. So it seems very well done. We definitely want to get Destinies played because that'll give us an idea of how this plays in terms of the mechanics. But that is the Dark Quarter. So that, I would imagine, yeah, same thing right here. Click here, get notified for late pledges. They raised over €1 million. So they did very well. Next is DC Deck Building Game, 10th Anniversary Edition. There are 3 days to go. So this is a deck building game similar to, well, Marvel Legendary, which we haven't played, and I can't say really similar to Clank. I'd say more similar to like Power Ranger. No, not Power Rangers, because that's Versus. Star Realms, when we played it co-op. I gotta figure out an example. It's a deck building game where you're playing co-op. So basically you're buying the cards from the market just like you normally would, and then you're going up against bad guys, trying to defeat the bad guys. This one is semi-co-op because at the end, whoever has the most points does win, which is very similar to Legendary, but you can just play it all out co-op. They've had different variations of it. They had like a fully co-op mode that's kind of like Marvel United, where you go around a board and move, but you're doing deck building at the same time. I think that'd be fun. If you had Marvel United, but turn it into a deck building game where you could buy your cards.
Yeah,
I think
so nice.
So DC makes one. I'm not as big of a DC fan, but I do like DC. I read the comics. So this was their 10th anniversary, which a lot of people thought was going to be like a reprint with all the promos and different things in it. It wasn't. Instead, what it is really they are promoting these 4 items. So it's a new base game. So every single one of their games is considered a base game that can be incorporated or played separately. A new Rivals expansion. This is their versus mode. So they do have a versus mode. And then 2 new big boxes so you can fit it all in. Really 1 big box plus an exclusive box. They did eventually offer the promo cards. And then they do have a pledge where you can get some of the original content. If I can get down to it. Pledge levels, pledge levels, pledge levels, pledge levels. Where are you at? Now, the one thing with this one compared to other deck builders, it is very simple. It's very entry level. You only have 1 resource to manage. Use that same resource to buy cards, to defeat bad guys, or to attack the main villain. There's just 1 resource. So it makes it a little bit easier in terms of the teach. Really good for kids. Like Alex's son loves this because, again, it's very easy for him to play. Whereas for Alex, he wants those extra, meatiness to it where he has more decisions and more stuff like that. So this is just for the new stuff because, a lot of people are already going to have everything. $70, you get the 2 new games plus the bombshells. $135 is welcome package. So you get the 2 base games, you get the multiverse box, and you get some play mats. The super fan, you get both the games, both the boxes, because if you have everything, you're going to need 2 boxes eventually, they said. And then the infinite fan, you get everything, plus you get the original sets. So you get all the original 6 sets, but they don't come with boxes. So you're just getting the cards. So to save money. And then you also have the option to, yeah, so this is the infinite, which is, yeah, that's this one. If you add the promo pack, it adds another $20 to get all the promo cards. That's just promo cards. And then, well, there was an option. I don't know why it's not listed here, but there is an option also to just buy these for like $25 a piece. Some of them are kind of hard to get. Some of them aren't so hard to get. But you could buy just the original sets for $25. They just don't come in a box. So you kind of have to buy one of these or pick up the, one of these 2 as well. So $345 would get you everything. $200 there. $135 there. Just the new stuff is $70, which again, it plays by itself. You don't need the other stuff to play. This does play by itself.
See.
No, I did not back it. I did not back DC deck building game. The main reason, 2 reasons. One, it seemed too simple for what it is. I think we've gotten past that, and we've got a lot of Marvel Legendary to play. 2, we have a lot of Marvel Legendary to play. So I would have been wanting to get everything, so that way we can do it. But it doesn't mix and match the same way, right? Each game plays pretty independent of each other. It's not like Marvel Legendary where we're going to be mixing and matching all the different sets. And again, while I like DC, I'm not a DC fan. I'm a Marvel fan.
I know.
So for me, it's just easier to say we've got 2 big Marvel card games. We wouldn't have time for a big DC card game. So now, did not back it. But if you guys are interested, I think it's got, a couple days left. 3 days left to go on DC Deck Building 10th Anniversary Edition. Honestly, I'll tell you what would have gotten me is if for the 10th anniversary, it would have been a true reprint of everything that they have made at a very reasonable price. But even the $25 without the boxes, you can sometimes pick them up on Miniature Market for that price. So it's not even really a savings to buy them without the box at $25 because Miniature Market sometimes has it on sale. So, but yeah, if they would have done an actual 10th anniversary instead of basically a pre-order for the 2 new games, I might have backed the anniversary edition. So the next is Paradox. So this one did fund. You can get notified for late pledges. So in Paradox, you're basically a scientist and you're trying to open up wormholes to other worlds. Now, there is a little bit of debate about what the final mission is going to be. In the original game that this is based off of, you were trying to save people from planets. In this one, originally it was kind of worded as you're a mad scientist and you're destroying these worlds because you don't care and you're just opening up portals left and right. Which, of course, happens. We see it in the Multiverse of Madness that's coming out for Doctor Strange. So they say they're going to tone it down and have more of a, you are a scientist and you are trying to go out and find things. You're not intentionally trying to destroy things. And then if they do a follow-up, they're saying that they'll do like maybe maybe a co-op mode where you'll be trying to save the planets. But basically what it is you are taking action selection. You got cards that you can be able to pull. And what you're trying to do is build patterns. So out of these tiles. So you need to get 3 in a row. So normal Candy Crush and those kinds of games. So you need to get 3 in a row. Once you get 3 in a row, you basically accomplish that. You're going to move a tracker around this board, which will cause planets to get destroyed. And then you're going to be scoring points based on some condition cards that you have in your row. And then additional, these cards will have certain actions that will allow you to flip tiles back over, put shields on things, all that stuff. The main mechanic is this 3 in a row thing though, right? So buy back now, you get a free expansion, exclusive content, normal Kickstarter stuff. Here's all your bits and bobs that you're going to get. Nice big bag that you can put your hand in from the top. Those are always fun. Big chunky bits in the deluxe edition. So you get nice plastic chunky bits. Just did the opening for Wonderland's War. Those chunky bits feel good. The different company. Don't even know if the chunky bits will feel the same. So the standard edition was 40. The deluxe edition was 70. Didn't even know this one. Mad Lab Assistant, standard edition, the game, deluxe upgrade. You get 4 player mats and then a box for the player mats. And then you get the Mad Scientist, which gives you boxes and all of the player mats. So this one gives you 4 of the play mats in the box. This one gives you 18 play mats, 1 for each of the factions, and the boxes to store them in. So 39, 69, 135, 329.
Let's see.
Yes, so I did back this one. This was one that was on the fence, and I went back and forth on backing. And in the end, honestly, I backed it because all the artists they kept revealing. They did a really fun thing where they kept revealing different artists for the different factions. So each one of these factions, they got a different popular artist, like board game artist, to draw them. So once they started doing all this, I was like, oh, that's great. So this is Mr. Cuddington, which does a lot of art we like. This one is Kawachi Moriya. This is Naid. I think the Miko's got to be in here. He's like one of the biggest board. Yeah, he is. Yeah, the Gifu's. So yeah, that's his art. There's the Miko. But yeah, I like the art, and I like the game. The game seemed fun, and honestly, it came down to I ended up keeping this pledge and unbacking from another pledge. So this one I did back. So you're up to 4 now.
No, I was 3.
Oh, you're up to.
This is just the third one.
That's just the third one. Okay, so that is the Paradox Initiative. All right. So the next one is Sleeping Gods: Distant Skies. So this is a standalone game. So Sleeping Gods came out the year before last, I believe. It is a storybook travel game where you are, in the original one, you're on a boat and you're traveling a boat and going to islands and going on adventures, and you need to get food and you need to get resources. And it's kind of like a survival game in this world of Sleeping Gods. This one is more streamlined version. And of course they improve upon what they do before, but this time you're in a crashed airplane. I guess an airplane crashes. But you got dice, so I don't think we've played any games similar to this. I mean, I guess the closest would be Aftermath, right? Where we've got our characters and we're going through and we're trying to accomplish goals. This one is very sandbox, meaning you can go and do whatever you want. If you want to go to the left today, just go to the left. If you want to go to the right today, go to the right. You don't have to follow a set narrative path that they've set out for you. They are adding audio narration, so that way you can amplify your experience, where it'll read the stuff to you. So everything new, which is basically the game, plus they're taking one of their older games that was a print and play and actually making a printed copy, is 128. Distant Skies by itself is 85. We don't care about the retailer. The original game, which is really hard to get right now, it's done really well, so it's hard to get. It's 205 to get everything for it. To get both the Sleeping Gods plus the Distant Skies, 333. Then they got random add-ons, so you can just add things on as you want.
Let's see.
Yes, so I did back this. Sleeping Gods got such rave reviews. I said I had to do it. I was backing everything. I was going to get the original Sleeping Gods, but I've heard it takes a long time to play just even the base game with all the stuff that they have. And we're not going to be able to play both. So I just went in for just the new Distant Skies. It's lighter weight, lighter overhead. I think in the first one you were controlling 9 characters. So me and you combined would have to control 9 total characters. This one there's only 5. So basically you could control 2, I could control 3. A little bit easier. We've controlled 2 before. Yeah. Like we do it in Aftermath. So yeah, so I did do that one at the Distant Skies level. And then I think I did have to do an upgrade because I think there was something that's not included, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, so I did do that one. Or maybe I just did that because there were no upgrades. I can't remember. But yeah, so that one is there. This one still has 2 days left. So again, depending when I get this uploaded, it may still be out there. And of course, our neighbor's son is probably riding around on his 4-wheeler out there. So the next one is also on GameFound. This is Bedeville Carnival. So Bedeville Carnival is basically a carnival where you are playing as a zombie and you're trying to compete through the night to have your patrons have fun at your theme park, basically. So all the zombies are coming to your park and they're trying to have fun. So here we go. There's all the people. Come on, we want to get to pictures of pieces. There we go. So the collector's box is $50. You can see here where each of these are going to be like exhibits that people can go to, acrylic standees, and you're going to be sending them around to basically get money. So that way you can win by having, the best rides that people enjoy. Squishy bits, metal coins, lots of deluxe pieces. Insert for a doll to go in. It's kind of neat. The insert for each player is like a little coffin. So that's kind of cute. Then these are extra free characters and stuff that they unlocked along the way. Rewards. Yep. So that's the only reward. It's $50 for the collector's box. And that is it.
See.
No, did not back this one. I was thinking about it, but after the campaign launched, nothing drew me in. Like before the campaign, I was like, oh yeah, this looks kind of cool. But after the campaign launched, nothing drew me in. Like I just did the how to play, and this was it for the how to play. And I still don't know how to play. I'm confused. And I didn't watch any of the previews, so I don't know there. But as you heard me describe the game, I could barely describe the game because I have no clue what you're technically doing.
It was easy.
You thought it was just easy, so that was explaining. But yeah, so this one is ending in 7 minutes as of this. They did fully fund 515 backers. So if somebody gets this, maybe we're missing something. This is Ludo Ninja. Let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll late back it. But I don't get what this game does. So the next one is a big game, Anastyr by Mythic Games. So again, a big game, big minis. Did successfully fund. Missed the caravan, you can follow along, right? So in this, let me see if I can find a picture of it. In this game, in normal Mythic fashion, when they first launch it, they have just this game in like one expansion. And then as you go, they add expansions. So all these got added as it went on. I think when it first launched, it was like this plus the Kickstarter exclusive, and then they added these other 6 like they always do. So the core box, the main box, the box by itself was 130. That's what they launched with. So it looked like it was like 130 bucks when it first launched. And then each of the expansions are basically 50 to 60 bucks a piece. But what you're trying to do, if I can find it, is what comes in the box. I don't want that one. I want to know how to play. Lots of big minis.
Yeah.
Big minis. There's the pledge levels. I want to know how to play. That's one thing I dislike about Kickstarter campaigns is the how to play is after all the eye candy, and that's intentional. I know that's why they're doing it. All right, we're gonna fast scroll here. Close your eyes, everybody. There we go. All right, so we're down to the how to play. All right. So basically, what you're doing is you have your characters and you're moving them across. So think of the side-scrolling games where like you and your buddies are playing, and it's kind of at an off angle. So it's kind of like an angle like this, and you got your characters, and the bad guys are coming from this way. So it's one of those style side-scrolling games. They basically took a video game, turned it into a board game. So you're going to be moving across, rolling dice, and trying to defeat the wave after wave. After you beat one board and everybody's on the next board, you see a new board shows up on the end. See, get off that board goes away, you slide that board down, put another board on, more bad guys come in. And it's just wave after wave of that based on, you know, whatever you draw from the cards. Turn order changes. You can level up your characters, get more cards, so you can do more abilities. Normal beat 'em up type game, right? So that's that. So yeah, so the Dragon Pledge was the Companion Pledge, just the base game, 130. Dragon Pledge, which is the box, applicable stretch goals, and one expansion, the Solace expansion, was 160. The Caravan, which is all in, all the expansions, everything, was 400.
Can you go up?
Look at that guy.
The guy.
Look at that. Okay, there you go. There's the heroes and the guys. They also have these minis that have magnetic butts, so you can put them on the things that you can tame the animals and then use them for combat.
I'd say no.
No, did not back it. I was interested. It's a minis game. It's a big game. Something just didn't pull me in. I don't know. Maybe because now I'm getting so many mini games or so far behind on miniature painting that anytime I see a mini game now, I'm like, oh, right. I watched the Quackalope playthrough. It looked fun. I watched somebody else's playthrough. It looked fun. But I think the other thing is price. It's $400. And there were so many campaigns for whatever reason ending on the exact same pay period. It was crazy how many campaigns were ending on the exact same pay period. So now I didn't back it. I don't think I'm going to be... I know we're going to miss something because we're not playing this, and this is a unique style game. There's no other game that I've seen that's kind of doing that side-scroller thing. But I don't think we'll be missing anything by not having it. But that is Anastyr. If you guys think we made a bad decision, of course, let us know down in the comments, right? But you can visit Mythic Games, sign up. Of course, they always do their late pledges. Right? So the next one is a reprint. So this is the Great Wall reprint. This is by Awakened Realms. They make big mini games. This was their first Euro game. You might see me watching a gameplay, Quackalope's gameplay of this. But basically you are doing worker placement back here to get resources. And then what you're doing is then spending those resources to make soldiers, barricades, build up the Great Wall to basically fend off the Genghis Khan and his forces, right? Because they were trying to invade China. And that's what you're trying to do. So wave after wave, each round, more things are going to come in here. And you're basically, it's what they call tower defense, where you have a tower and you're trying to stop things from taking down your tower. And that's what's going to happen. But you kind of are working cooperative or competitive. So cooperative, you're going to want to make everything stop because you're trying to do it cooperatively. Competitive or semi-co-op, you're wanting to stop it, but not if it doesn't necessarily impact you or your scoring, or the whole game would be lost, right? So it's kind of got that aspect to it. Lots of goodies, lots of expansions. Nothing new. This is just a reprint. So the Sundrop reward, which we would paint our minis anyways, but it comes with sleeves and the art book, 340. The regular Dragon Pledge, which comes with the core game plus the stretch goals, 116. Sundrop, it's 166. The Iron, which is everything, is 189. Sundrop, 249, and then another collector's bundle. So basically 189 for everything, 116 for the base game with the expand or the stretch goals. Look at me, ojos.
See.
I did, and then I unbacked.
You unbacked?
I unbacked.
Oh, no.
So no. So I did back this one originally. I do like it. Again, it kind of comes down to the minis again. There's so many minis. And I was like, fine, I'll back it with the minis. Again, too many campaigns ending at the same time. So at the very end, I was like, well, I'll stay in at $1. If I want to add it later, maybe I will. Too much money. what I really want to hear from them is they made a version with meeples. Because it is a worker placement game, and because you don't really have any minis down here for the bad guys, Alex kind of mentioned that in his this or that video. You don't have minis for the bad guys. They're basically cards, and you're just putting things on top of the cards to cover up the spots. See how there's like spots there? You're just covering up the spots with either damage or the mini.
Okay.
A meeple would serve that purpose. So for me, it's kind of that too. It's like a worker placement game. You'd want meeples.
Yeah.
They didn't do the meeples in this reprint. They only did the minis. There's rumor that the meeples will go to retail. The only problem I see there is if it goes to retail, you won't be able to get any of the expansions. And a lot of people had that same issue with the add-ons, is they couldn't add on just the minis or just some expansion that they wanted, right? So nothing here says exclusive with the expansions. Doesn't say these are exclusive, so possibly they'll release these in a mini version or in a meeple version. You wouldn't get the Iron Dragon, but again, if you're not playing meeples, it doesn't matter. If you're not playing with minis, it doesn't matter. Upgraded resources, I wasn't going to get anyways. So I'll wait to see if they say they're doing meeples at retail. And what games, which pieces will be available at retail, because I almost guarantee the stretch goals won't, which is kind of disappointing. If they're not going to, then I probably will back it. That's why I was kind of saying yes and no. I do want this. The problem is I would prefer to pay a little bit less and get the meeple version, which to me feels better than the mini version. So that is the Great Wall. You can, of course, follow the project and get notified when the Pledge Manager and Late Pledge opens. So Airflip. So Airflip is a roll and write takeoff game, and it is a print and play roll and write game. Cute art there, isn't it? Little stewardess going about her business. So basically what you're trying to do is you're going to roll dice. If the dice match a particular person, particular passenger, and you have what they want, like an aisle seat or a window seat or emergency exit or first class, then you'll be able to add them to your plane. So that's basically what you're doing. Roll the dice, add the people to your plane, be the first one to fill up your plane, add up the points, right? So it is print and play. So you just print out your own resources, your cards. They added some different different airplanes were unlocked during the campaign. The total price was €5, which is like $8 US.
Yes.
Yes. I like this one because the art. The art, I saw this like, oh wow, this is great. And I hadn't seen it anywhere else. It didn't do, it did like €3,000, which isn't bad, but I don't think it got a lot of press because they didn't do anything. And a lot of your print and play games are like this. They don't get a lot of press. And they're also, they get buried inside of other campaigns. So luckily they were smart and they had a very attractive banner image that when you're doing a search, you see that and you're like, oh, what is this? So luckily we got in on this. So we did get $5, not bad. You can follow along. That way when they release it on their web shop, you'll be able to get it if that interests you. All right. So this is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. It is a 1 to 4 player dice placement strategy game. This is by the same people that make of the West Kingdom and of the North Sea. So it's same publisher. Yeah, well, yeah, of course, they're definitely going to use the Miko for the art. So in this one, what you're doing is instead of more worker placement, you're using dice. So it's all dice gameplay to be able to explore. What this series is you're going to be exploring through the Tigris, through the development of the population and getting information, because it's based on real events where there was this, I don't know what he was, king something. And he sent out people to get information because he wanted to have all the information that he could get around the world, bring it back and stuff like that. So you have like inspiration, town folk, very, very reminiscent of the rest of Shem Phillips's games with Garfield games. The pledge levels, there's all the playthrough. See, they got their videos up first. So the Wayfarer, which is basically just the main game by itself, no extras, $45, because this is in New Zealand dollars. And then the Coinfarer, which includes the actual coins, is $56. There were no exclusives, no stretch goals, because they basically make what they make, and that's what you get. And if you don't want to do it here, then you can wait for retail. But yeah, there's the coins.
Yes.
Yes. So I did back that one because we've played all of the North Sea. We like the North Sea. I think we'll like the West Kingdom because you seem to be liking worker placement and stuff like that. One of the West Kingdom, I think, is a deck building game. So we figured better go ahead and get on the Tigris at the beginning. So that way we're not playing catch up like we are with the other ones. So I did back that. I did back it at the Coin Fair. Not sure why, because I mean the coins are generic and can be used with any game. But I guess that way we would have another set of coins. I don't know. I did the Coin Fair. I don't know why. But yeah, so you can back this project again. 3 days left to go. Again, nothing extra that you're going to get from backing it here except for getting it first. If you're in the US, you would normally have to wait for Renegade, which is a couple months behind that as well. That's honestly the other reason why I backed it here versus waiting is content creation. We kind of have to get it now, not 3 months from now. All right. We have G.I. Joe Mission Critical. 4 days left to go on this. So G.I. Joe Mission Critical, same thing here. This is Renegade, so it's what you're getting is what you're getting. They don't usually do lots of extras and stretch goals. This is a game with little miniatures. You're going around in a circle. You've got some dice and combat ability. It reminds me a little bit of Marvel United again, except for your cards actually do things. So it's a little bit more important what card you play versus just a single symbol. So think of this like a step up from that. It is based on a system that they've already developed, which was the Power Rangers series. So the Power Rangers is based on the same system. You can actually merge them too. I wanted to get the Power Rangers, but we were so far behind. There's so much of it that we would never be able to catch up because I do like the Power Rangers. And then this one's just basically the same thing with G.I. Joe. You're looking at just the game is $100. And then the game plus the expansion plus an extra set of dice is $145. But yeah, so you get lots of minis, more minis, cards, more cards. There's your board. So this is why I say kind of like Marvel United. You're going from location to location to try to stop the bad guys. And then the expansion.
Yes.
Yes, so I did back this one. Same thing. I've kind of hinted at. I didn't want to try to catch up on this one in case we do like the mechanics. If I like the mechanics enough, then maybe I will go out and try to find the Power Ranger stuff. But I figured getting in on G.I. Joe now at the beginning, we'll be able to do it. Same thing, backed it here so we could get it first for content versus waiting for retail. They did say it's cheaper because I think they said what it would be $195 at retail. Yeah, $195 at retail versus the $145. That again is Miniature Market would throw a sale and it'd be that price anyways. But yeah, so we did back that. That is G.I. Joe Mission Critical. You still got to play the deck building game with me. You still haven't played G.I. Joe deck building game. I think I packed it up already though. So that might have to wait. All right. This was the month of 4X games. And it was actually the month of very unique 4X games. So this one is a 4X fantasy game, not a space game, where you are trying to defeat the other enemies. It's a co-op too, which is kind of weird. I don't know how many co-op 4X games there are. Basically, it was very unique. It's got acrylic standees instead of miniatures. And instead of being a transparent acrylic, it's the color of the faction. So it kind of, because you need to know who's who, right? So you're basically on this board, you're going to be moving around, exploring these tiles. You're going to get some kind of benefit or resources. So that way you can make troops to send out. You can build little huts. I don't know if they've got a picture of the huts. I don't see the little huts. But you can build settlements, which is where your people can come from. And then you can upgrade those settlements to defend. And then you're, like I said, you're just trying to win the game because, of course, everything's victory point based. In order to win the game, everybody's victory points need to be higher than the bad guy's victory points. And the winner of the game, of course, is whoever has the most victory points. A lot of people talked really good about this. Was actually for the expansion, but of course you can come in and get the base game as well if you missed out on the base game. The expansion, just getting the expansion was 60. Just getting the base game reprint was 100. Getting the veteran, which is the expansion plus the upgraded components, Bella's dreaming, was 134. So they did also do some upgrades because some people wanted some upgrades. The hero pledge, which gives you the base game and both expansions that have come out, was 199. And then to get everything, including all the new tokens and bits and cards, was 300.
Yes.
No. Did not back this one for really one main reason. Well, price came into it again, well, because there was just, again, so many $300 games were ending the same time. It was crazy. Price was the first turnoff for me, but I was like, well, I could always not back something else, you know. So price is never a final factor, but they say it's very difficult, not in terms of complexity, but very difficult to win.
Okay.
And because we get to play games so few, we wouldn't play this 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 times to figure out how to beat it, right? So that was really the turnoff. I watched Quackalope. He did a video where they did a playthrough with Max from Table Knots, and it looked interesting. And it was the first 4X that I looked at. And I'm like, oh, okay, I would play that 4X because it didn't feel dry, and they were having a lot of fun, which always helps a 4X feel better because they were joking and having fun. A little alcohol was involved, but it was so brutal in the way that it plays. Like, if you don't play perfectly, one misstep can basically ruin the whole game. Like, they wanted to reset the game twice, but they were so far in, I think by the second time they said no. The first time it was a long debate because they were only maybe an hour into the game. But the second time, I think they're already almost 2 hours into the game, and they were like, we can't stop now. Let's just go. And eventually they did. They got to a point where it was like, this is a no-win scenario. We're done. And that to me is like, not that I don't mind losing, but I don't want to have to, I don't want to figure out how to win, you know. So that's Uprising. It's getting really good reviews. I give it praise for, like I said, being very original in what it's done. This is the first 4X game that I ever thought about backing. And I like the acrylic standees. I like minis, but if you can make it so I don't have to paint anything, I might be in for that. And if you're interested in this one, of course, there is 1 day left to back, depending if I get this up in time. Otherwise, follow along and late pledge. Right. So the next one is Through Ice and Snow, lead a treacherous voyage of Arctic exploration where you will discover the elusive and lucrative Northwest Passage. So it's basically the Northwest Passage. You're trying to go through and discover things. I was about to say Lewis and Clark, but I don't think Lewis and Clark did this. They did the Southern. But basically, you're going through, and as you go through, you're going to uncover the board because the ice is going to recede, and then you're traveling your boat through to basically find things, discover things. It is a worker placement game. They did do it in collaboration with the Noanet, the Inuit. I don't know what this is because the cursive is kind of weird. Is that Nuuauut?
Oh, it's here. Nunavut.
Nunavut. Yeah, which is the Inuit people. So they actually work with them because they are part into this game. So you got your Inuit guides. So they made sure that they were culturally responsible. What's in the box? So it's a modular game board. Like I said, you're going to explore and add to it as you go. Item tokens, your captain, your scientist, your carpenter, your sailors, all your workers. And then, of course, your scoring pieces. Gameplay, so worker placement, place your crew so you can do stuff. Weather the storm with your boat to make sure that you don't crash. Upgrade your components, you get some little doggies. Oh, you get sled doggies. Stay afloat, don't want your boat to sink. And then they did add a Myths and Legends expansion, which basically you're crossing onto land now instead of using your boat. So you have a sled that you get to, dog sled. The pledge levels. The $50 is the base game. 50 euros, sorry. $54. $79 is the base game plus the expansion. $106 gives you the base game, the expansion, some metal components, cherry blossom subscription, the captain's log, and a feet figure. And then it just starts getting bigger from there. So reduced shipping. Philanthropist, you get a mystery box from them. You get to name a ship at 350. And this one you get six pledges for 420. So basically looking at, for the main game, you're looking at 106, 79, and 54.
See,
I did back this one. And I backed this one. I mean, the concept is very interesting. It's worker placement. Adri likes worker placement. But we backed Darwin's Journey. I backed that. That was one of the first ones I got, waiting for that to come in. We backed Encyclopedia. And then this one seems like another game in that vein of like exploring and researching. So I figured, why not? We'll go ahead and get this one as well. So this is through Ice and Snow. So I am currently backing this one. This one's got the longest time left. So it's got 18 days to go. All right. And we are on our final one. This one has the, now I got to stand corrected from agree. This has the longest time to go, 23 days. They launched towards the very end of the month. This is SOS, Save Our Species, Protect the Planet, Natural Disaster. It is co-created with the World Wildlife Federation, 2 to 5 players. It is a simple card game. It's made by a 15-year-old kid who wanted to do this. The aim of the game is calling out explorers, naturalists. You're going to basically collect and pair rare species and habitats, build and protect biomes, and then save your species from extinction. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all. They don't have much on it. They didn't get any content creation around it. They got the biome deck, they got the event deck, and then of course Extinct. 100% of their profits are going to go towards World Wildlife Federation. National Cards have National Card Parks. Yeah, so this one. You're right. I am backing this one. This is, you can get the regular edition is $24. So again, very inexpensive game. The SOS Founders Edition is $36. I think the only thing you get is a hollow foil box. So it's kind of expensive just for a hollow foil box. I brought that stuff up to them in the comments that they're not really doing a good job of explaining the more expensive ones. And people probably aren't seeing the value there because they are doing better now. They are getting further along now. So I think they're finally getting some reach out there, but they were funding very slowly. So they only need 1,000 more. I think they'll make it by the end. I don't see why they wouldn't. But something that I had suggested, something that probably would have helped this campaign a lot, is since they're teaming up with WWF, they could have offered maybe, or seen if WWF could have offered them some type of add-ons, like a t-shirt or a sticker or like little things like that into those bundles. So that way, when you're looking at this deluxe edition, right, that costs, what do we say, $10 more, right? That costs $10 more, really $12 more. You don't feel like the only thing you're getting is a hollow foil box.
Yeah.
Right? You get a sticker and a pin and a something, right? Some little chintzy $2-3 items, but then you feel like you're getting something else. Or even, I told him, I said, most campaigns you have stretch goals or some type of upgrade, like, oh, get these 5 exclusive cards in the deluxe edition. Unfortunately, they went full steam ahead. I think it's too late for them to change anything. I told them early enough in the campaign where they could have canceled and came back. Now, this is what it is. Good for them. Good for a 15-year-old doing this and being able to make his first game. Very good that they're doing this for World Wildlife Federation. So I do hope a lot of people get the game, at least for anything else, to encourage a first-time publisher, especially a young kid, as well as, save the planet. Right. Okay, guys, that is what I backed in April. If you like this type of content, what do they need to do?
Subscribe and activate notifications.
So you can see us. And of course, leave a comment down below with which games you backed, which games we should have backed. Maybe I missed a couple. They weren't on my radar, which is probably pretty hard because I do a search quite often on the Kickstarter there. But if you want to see any of the preview content we mentioned or any of the games that we did back, make sure you hit that subscribe like Adri said. That way you get notified when we go live. Until next time, guys.
Adios.
Peace.